What is up, Dara Torres? This is an honor for me, especially as a Boston College Eagle. So thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
You are being honored tonight, downtown Boston at the Tradition, City of Champions, which is perfectly fitting for yourself, 12-time Olympic medalist. What are you most excited for tonight?
Well, I have to tell you, my daughter's really bummed she's not here. She's in college, and I was walking around and down in the doldrums, it has all the hockey names and everything down there. So I was taking videos, and she was like, oh my gosh. But, just to be in the company of the people who are being honored and the fact that, this is a fundraiser to raise money for the community is very important to me.
It's so special. And I have to just say, you look gorgeous tonight.
Thank you.
Your dress, it is amazing. Did your daughter help you pick that out?
I literally was online, send, that was it. So, and I'm paying for it now because it's very big in the back and I have to keep tying this thing. So hopefully I'll get through the night. But my kids on the team, the girls told me that I need to wear sneakers. So I got my dunks on, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I do want to talk about Boston College, the kids on your team. As a BC Eagle, it is so exciting to have you a part of the community now. BC is so fortunate to have you, really. Why did you choose Boston College?
Well, first of all, it's so rich in tradition and history and, the religious background and just everything about it just kind of embodied sort of like what I was looking for. I actually never thought I'd get into coaching. It's just something that kind of happened. And, I'm so ecstatic about it. And really what I wanted to do is just try to turn this program around and get the morale back and, the team culture and just get these kids to start having fun again and just start raising the bar as we go along.
Yeah, that first day when you got in front of the team, what was that like? What was the vibe?
I try not to be, but I think I was a little bit nervous because, we had over 50 kids there and they're all like paying attention to you. And I think I enjoyed doing a motivational talk more than standing in front of the kids and talking about team rules and other stuff going on. But we talked about goals and what I'm looking for. And we've had individual meetings with the kids and really have an idea of what's going on there and what their needs are and stuff. And it's been a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning, I think, for all parties intended. But, I think everyone's just settled in now and really enjoying it.
That's amazing for you to say because swimming has been a part of your life forever, really.
Yes.
And you're saying, yeah, it's a learning curve. And there's a lot of things that nobody really sees that you have under your responsibility that's outside of the pool.
It's crazy. The guy who hired me, he said, I really underestimated how little you know about administrative work. And I'm like, I had an agent, so he did everything for me. I didn't have to do anything. So, it's definitely a learning curve. Not so much the coaching. I mean, I think learning how to use a stopwatch, because I've never had to use a stopwatch, is something that is a little bit different for me. But the coaching just kind of has come naturally. But the administrative work, like I had no idea how much there would have to be, to get the season going and between a meet schedule and equipment. And there's just one thing after another. Mm-hmm. So it's been a lot, but, we're plugging along. I'm going to be bummed next year when I can't say, well, this is my first year, So,
you don't have that excuse,
I don't have
behind
excuse
me.
anymore.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, is there a motto or a specific phrase or just team philosophy that you're like, this fall, I really want to instill this in my program?
I think just considering it was kind of a rough patch for them last year, I really just want them to reach their full potential of what they can do. We had such a variety of kids come in that some swam, some didn't swim. We had some freshmen never did double workouts before. And it was just like, everyone just got thrown in. And so, our goal is really just for each individual to reach their full potential and to have fun. We've gone to Red Sox games. A couple of kids went to hockey games. We've done Top Golf. We've done go-karting.
I want to join the swim team.
I know, right? You're a lacrosse player, so you're on the field all the time. That's all you look at. And these kids are looking at a black line at the bottom of the pool. And academics is so prestigious at Boston College that, they have a lot on their plate. So to go out and just get out of that realm and do something different, I think is really important.
Yeah, that's really incredible. And I bet those student athletes really appreciate that because it is really hard. And especially with someone like you coming in as their coach, they're probably like, oh, it's swimming only, blinders on. But you're able to bring them outside of that and say, this is really more than just what happens here in the pool.
Yeah, and I think also the biggest thing that I want these kids to learn coming out of my program is confidence, to when they're done with this chapter in their life and they go on to the next chapter, that they have the confidence to do that.
That's awesome. Is there a specific drill or coaching philosophy from a former coach that you've had that you are making sure that you bring to this Boston College team?
Yes. What I've really learned just as an athlete and seeing the coaches that I've worked with for so many years and all their different philosophies really is, you're not coaching the team, you're coaching the individual. So yes, people may swim the same events, but every body type's different. How people take things in is different. The mental capacity is different. So, I have 52 different personalities on the team. And, I literally dropped my daughter off at Penn State for her freshman year of college. I'm like, oh, empty nester. And then 3 days later, I'm like, oh, I got 52 kids now. So but it's really been a lot of fun. Like I'm really enjoying it. And, it's really just to have that confidence when they leave my program.
That's awesome. It truly is a new family that you've taken on, and 52 is a lot of athletes.
Yeah, it is. But I think the hardest thing besides a stopwatch is learning everyone's names. I mean, literally when they were in practice after the first week, my associate head coach and I were like, okay, I'm going to go on Instagram and take like a picture of it. And then, see, like I have their profile and then I can match them to who they are in the pool. And we're like, okay, that's Liza. Hey, Liza, and that's really what we had to do because 52 kids trying to learn their names in like 1 week, we're messing everyone up. So that was pretty hard too.
But it's intentional. You're being intentional with
Yes.
it. You're not just going to say, oh, you're just one of the 52.
Exactly.
So I'm sure your swimmers are happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I read your book, Age is Just a Number, and something amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
And something that really stood out to me was the emphasis that you had on positive self-talk, and especially around your race time. How has that proven to help you throughout your career?
So when you're training for something like an Olympic Games or you're in a sport where, yes, you're swimming, but when you're sitting at the wall, you're around your other teammates, you have to try to be positive. And, for me, I didn't try to like overthink things and get into my head and stuff. Like I do much better actually if I don't think about anything and I just go and swim and do my thing. And I feel like if I've done all the hard work up to that point, whether it's physical or mental, and go to a meet, that I should just be able to stand up and go. And so I try to, obviously there's a lot of positivity that goes into that, whether it's physical or mental. And it's always important for me to surround myself with people who are positive. I'm too old to like deal with, all this other stuff that's going on, and it does. It happens in sports and that. And it's just a matter of how you deal with it. So staying positive is really important.
That's good. And I think that's a great message for people who even aren't athletes, right? Like whatever environment you're in, if it's your work environment, you want to surround yourself with people who build you up and just positive.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I try to tell the kids. Like if anyone's having a bad day, go into water, say what you need to say, and then pop back up,
That's good too. Get down in the water.
Exactly. So I've had to have a couple talks with a couple kids and they get it, but I mean, listen, like if I wasn't complaining about something in practice, my coach would think something was wrong with me. So, I get it. You're getting ready and you don't know what's coming up. And then all of a sudden the coach gives you a hard sit and you're like, oh gosh, but just go into water.
That's good. Just go underwater.
Get it all out. Bubbles come up, and then you're great,
I'm going to use that with my kids someday when they're being naughty.
That's right.
I love that. Well, I loved learning about you as the BC Eagle, but I would love to learn more about you as the Olympian, 12-time medalist, 4 gold medals. It's a pretty insane sentence for me to say. When you think back to those medals and the journey that those brought you through, I bet each one has a really hard-fought story, right? But is there a specific race with one of those medals that you're specifically proud of?
It's hard to say which one. I think what I've learned in retrospect, looking back, is, looking at that road that got you there, like the journey, like you said, that's what makes you who you are, not getting necessarily that medal. But if I had to pick a race, it would probably be the 50 freestyle in 2008 in Beijing, because what I thought when I finished and I looked at the scoreboard, it said that I lost by 100th of a second. And if you blink as fast as you can blink, that's fast. 100th of a second is faster than as fast as you can blink. I mean, it's just, you can't calculate how fast that is. And so for me, it was like hopping on that plane, being so upset that I lost by 100th of a second, and then realizing that I gave it everything I had, that I left no stones unturned, and there was nothing else I can do, that I had to be happy that I actually won a silver medal, you know, in the Olympic Games. So at 41, so, you know, I definitely thought about things a little bit differently, but I think that race is probably the most important race for me, because it really taught me a lot and had me grow up a little more, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I have to keep swimming until I win that individual gold medal that's eluded me for so many years.
Wow, that's really powerful. And I bet just that story in itself, out of the millions of stories and life lessons that you've learned from swimming, that for your own swimmers, just at Boston College, that is going to take them so far to know that if you can say that, they can say that in their meet.
It's like a peace of mind, you know, and I mean PEACE, peace of mind. You know, if these kids, if they give it all that they can and they did the best they can, there's nothing else that they should expect from themselves.
Definitely. And talking about the mind, when you walk into that pool deck and it's the Olympics, I've never been in one of those environments. I know it's probably really hard to explain. What is that moment like?
I think it was much different when I went to my first one at 17 years old, and I was, you know, this young kid sort of bouncing off the walls and not appreciating it. And then when I got to my 5th Olympics at 41 years old, I definitely could see things a lot differently through the eyes of a 41-year-old than I did at my first Olympics through the eyes of a 17-year-old. So I think you're just a lot more appreciative and just so excited to be there. That's
awesome. When you think back to just being a part of the Olympics with all the other Olympians, I bet there were so many people that saw you and were like, oh my gosh, that's Dara Torres, and freaking out, right? But who was an athlete that you were so excited to see there?
It was really fun when the NBA guys came into the village, and, you know, they stay at a hotel. The beds are too short for them. And, you know, so, I mean, I get it. And they get mobbed anyway. But when they came to the Olympic Village before opening ceremonies in 2008 and hung out with us, and then would come to and support us and come to the meets and cheer us on, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's so cool. I love it. It's really cool when other athletes, I just experienced this in college, when the football team would come watch us or the basketball team, and vice versa. It really just builds that sense of like all one team. And I can't imagine what that was like on the USA front.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like a community, you know, I mean, we're there representing the United States. So yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Well, you've swam in so many pools. Is there a favorite pool that you have?
I'd have to say Sydney, Australia. You know, the Australians really put on an awesome Olympics, and every Olympics was great, but it's just something about being in a country where they treat their swimmers like rock stars, and everyone knows who everyone is, and they speak English, and it's just so beautiful there, and that was probably my favorite venue.
When you say they treat their swimmers like rock stars, what's like different about that?
Well, like we would walk into a laundromat and everyone would know who we are, because swimming is such a big sport there in Sydney, Australia, and they just sort of worship them. So It was kind of fun.
Yeah, that is super fun. Yeah. I love that. Now that you're at Boston College, have your athletes asked you, hey, are you going to get in the pool with us ever? Is that something that's been on your mind?
I kind of did. I didn't mean to, but I did. And I hadn't swum in like 5 years and have been in recently 3 different times. And the last one I just popped in with a kid and we swam together. So it was fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, Dara, we are so excited just to be able to talk to you today. And truly, from me as a BC Eagle, so thankful that you are at Boston College and cheering you on. And I know you've probably got a lot of maroon and gold by this point, but I want to gift you some BC Lacrosse neon, another Boston College color, just to really welcome you to the Boston College community. And we're cheering you on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you.